caterpillar, at a certain point in its life cycle, becomes a voracious, overconsumptive glutton, consuming everything in sight. At this point in its evolution, it consumes more and becomes very sluggish. At that same moment of developmental excess, inside the caterpillar, the imaginal cells begin to stir. Imaginal cells are specialized cells and in the minority. But when they connect with each other, they become the genetic directors of the metamorphosis of the butterfly. At some point in the caterpillar's feeding frenzy stage, the imaginal cells usher in the process in which the overconsumptive caterpillar becomes the nutritive soup out of which the imaginal cells create the miracle of the butterfly. This metaphor gives us a way to see the world as it is, even in our state of voracious greed, as an evolutionary phase where the voracious caterpillar is becoming the nutritive soup from which will grow the miracle of the butterfly. This is the time to hold the vision of ourselves as imaginal cells and to focus on seeing our role in the transformation that is occurring. We are the midwives of the birthing of a new consciousness. In the contractions is the dissolution of the dense consciousness of a 26,000-year cycle coming to a close at the end of 2012. According to the Maya, we're in the last years of this huge cycle. The water has broken for this birth. The intensity of the world around us indicates that the contractions may be quite heavy, and that breakdown may be needed to create the nutritive soup out of which new life will be built. We are the imaginative cells holding the vision of the butterfly through this pain, ecstasy of the birth of new consciousness. Let us choose to focus on the butterfly being born, rather than getting caught up in the focus on the overconsumptive caterpillar and the pain of this transformation. We may be in the minority, but when we join together as the imaginative cells in the collective mind field, we will connect with each other as the genetic directors of this metamorphosis. Remember, this is the time we chose to come to be on earth as midwives of this transformation. Let us join together and celebrate. In this process of dissolution of the nutritive soup, in the chrysalis, you find yourself wondering, has my present life stopped making sense or having authentic meaning? Did you actually stop and listen? Feeling what your soul voice is trying to communicate to you about that? That requires stopping. Just stopping. Before your soul needs to use stronger means to get your attention. Have you consciously entered into the void of the chrysalis to disidentify with who your ego mind has so carefully defined yourself to be up until now in the journey? Have you stopped to find the meaning in no set identity, in emptiness, and the wisdom of not knowing? I invite you to enter the chrysalis to experience the wisdom of that space. A monarch butterfly begins as a black and gold caterpillar that goes into this frenzy, as we said, but it finally creates a fine web, a web-like substance that connects it to a branch, like the hanged man in the tarot. In time, its head literally splits in half, and its body begins to twitch. The material of its body liquefies into a green blob. The outside begins to solidify into an opaque emerald green chrysalis that has a perfect golden mean spiral of 9 triangles around it. It then gestates inside the darkness and the velvety silence of the void of the chrysalis. This chrysalis experience is an essential part of our journey, clearing and liquefying old patterns and identifications that no longer serve our liberation. Entering the chrysalis stops all outside input and distractions long enough to begin to actually hear soul directives as to what is necessary to dissolve the old and birth the new. That is you. The chrysalis requires trusting the process and letting go of control to enter the unknown. No small feat. Yet as you do, the chrysalis begins to become translucent. Finally, a sensuous ripple starts from within the chrysalis that begins to tear the translucent walls of its birthing shroud. And in a breathless moment of being vulnerably suspended by a thread, you land wet and new in an unknown world. Will you enter the chrysalis to find where this new world will lead you?